Hi everyone, my name's Nicola. I'm the Children's and Families Pastor at St Hugh's Church, and I'm going to give you a bit of my story and how I've come to be a part of the family here. So I was born in Birmingham, and I was born after my mum and dad had had a really horrific crash. A motorbike had gone into the side of their van and weren't sure if I was alive. My mum was really in a bad state and they didn't scan my mum for a few days to see if I was even alive, and there was some worry that I wouldn't be okay when I was born. And I was like the fattest, healthiest baby born. I was 10'7", I was huge, I was really healthy, I was a really happy baby. Apparently I didn't really cry, I just fed and slept. And my mum and dad wanted to thank someone, although they didn't really know who, but they wanted to thank God maybe and get me christened. And that's how they came to be Christians. They went to church and they found Jesus. And so I was brought up with new Christian parents, and we were heavily involved in church since I can remember. I have a mum and dad, I have 3 brothers, 2 sister-in-laws, and a niece or nephew on the way, which is very exciting. Really close-knit family. And then when I was just going into my teenage years, we moved from Birmingham to a village in Leicestershire and have grown up there and lived there until I moved down to Luton in, about nearly 3 years ago. So I would say that I always believed in God. I'd never really questioned his existence growing up, but I didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus. And so growing up, I knew that God had spoken to me, and I know that some of those promises that he made and some of those plans that he showed me when I was like 4, he's working those out still in me to this day. And I think that's awesome. I think that I've learned through a lot of things that it's in God's timing and not in our own timing, and we have to persevere and wait because his timing is perfect, and ours isn't. Our wisdom is not as great as his by a long shot. And so when I was about 14, I found that I kept crying in church and I wasn't really sure why. But I kept feeling this sense of guilt that someone had to die so that I could be set free from my sin. And I just thought, but God's supposed to be love and I don't understand this. And then one day, a lovely lady called Joy, she explained to me, but Nicola, Jesus isn't on the cross anymore. He's alive and you can have a relationship if you want to with him. And I remember just crying with joy, and my dad actually in church and sobbing. And I really just made that connection, and I chose to have a relationship with Jesus for myself. And so at 14, I was baptised, had believer's baptism, and I invited the Holy Spirit into my life. Over the years, I guess as a teenager, I said I was a Christian and I loved Jesus, but I also loved being a teenager and doing teenage things. And so those two didn't always match up. I went to India when I was 18 on a mission trip for 6 months, and this really changed me. It changed my whole life really, and my relationship with God. I just learnt what it was to rely on God, to go deeper with him, to live your life for him. And so I've continued from that. I've had ups and downs. A lot of people will know that my mental health has not always been brilliant, but through everything, I know that God holds me in his hands. He loves me and he's never going to let me go. I know that I am secure in the knowledge that I am his daughter, and that he has chosen me for a purpose that he has ordained, and it's up to me whether I choose to follow that or not, and I'm choosing to follow it. So I ended up going to college, to Bible college, back in Birmingham, because you can't escape Birmingham because it's brilliant. And it was really good. I just learnt so much, and it gave me a thirst to know more. So I ended up becoming a children's and families worker, and then I moved down here to be the pastor, which is a story for another day, but it was amazing how God just opened that. Now I love being in St Hugh's family. It's a privilege to serve here, and I can't wait till we can see each other again and everyone can have big hugs. Goodbye, God bless, love you.